Hi friends, welcome back to another video. It's Designer Toy Love here. This week's video is going to be a little bit different because we're going to be actually celebrating Pokemon's 30th anniversary. I know I'm a little late to Pokemon's actual 30th anniversary, but it's actually my 27th year anniversary with Pokemon. So I wanted to make a video kind of commemorating that, take you on a journey of where I'm at now versus where it all began and kind of what we went through along the way. I will be kind of showcasing some of my games, collectibles, plushes, and at the end we're going to open up some stuff that I just ordered from the Pokemon Center. So stick around, grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's get into it. All right, let me have a quick drink of my coffee here, and let's talk Pokemon. So for me, my Pokemon journey kind of began in September of 1998 with the first Pokemon anime that came out. It was the Pokemon Indigo League, and I think like many kids at that time, we became immediately obsessed with Pokemon. Pikachu, Ash, Misty, Brock, kind of their whole story, following them throughout the Indigo League, getting those gym badges. I mean, it was just peak childhood core memories for me, really. Then by December 1998, I got my first Game Boy Color, and I was actually, my parents got me Pokemon Yellow, and my friends got Pokemon Red and Blue, and so um, we played Game Boy for hours. We played Game Boy until, our parents were like, "Oh my God, please go outside, get some sunlight." And so, but yeah, we used to, trade Pokemon over like the link cable back in the day when you had to link up to Game Boy Colors and actually use the cable to trade Pokemon back and forth. And then the following year, by 1999, I got my first Pokemon card booster box. My parents had bought me the Jungle set, the first edition, which kind of featured all of the Pokemon from the Safari Zone. So my friends and I quickly got into playing the card game, battling each other for hours, in addition to playing our Game Boy games. We of course got into trading the cards, going to the card shops. Back in the day, we had actual like little card shops that would sell not just games but also cards. And so that's kind of like my peak nostalgia of kind of like childhood memories and kind of where it all began for me. And I think that's for many people that grew up in the 90s. I was born in 1990, so by the time that Pokemon came around, I was of that like perfect age to get really into it. And so then by the time that I turned about 15, there was kind of like the societal pressure, and pressure from my parents, pressure from school, pressure from teachers to, start to move on from Pokemon. It was kind of like a hot topic in the early 2000s, whether kids were spending too much time on Pokemon. And so um, I remember moving around a lot as a kid. And so eventually my parents had a storage locker where they kind of like put all of our stuff in because we were just moving around so much. It was easier just to take like the bare essentials, I want to say, with us. And eventually that storage locker unfortunately flooded. So we lost everything. And I'm talking everything. Furniture, family portraits, pictures, memories, and then of course all of my Pokemon collectibles, all my cards, all my merchandise, all my plushes, all my mangas, just everything. And so that was kind of a more emotional moment for me around 15 than I kind of even expected then. And thinking back on it now, it's still kind of surprising how emotional that was. And it kind of felt like maybe like losing a pet. I have lost a dog. I had a dog for 10 years. And, I kind of akin that to something similar, something almost as hard. Not quite as hard as losing my dog, but still a loss, which is, what does that say, about Pokemon and how it really becomes a part of our life. Um, I think it's just interesting to think about all of it and kind of have these conversations around Pokemon. So it's kind of like sad when you think about it almost that, all of my little pocket monster friends, were out of my life. And I went through it for a very long time without really being into Pokemon at all. I think the societal pressures had gotten to me, school, uh, kind of like trying to fit in. I had sort of moved away from Pokemon. And I went a good probably like 10 years without any sort of interaction with the brand in any way. And it took up until my husband and I got together that it kind of reignited my love for Pokemon. And so, actually, with these two games right here, so my husband bought both of us a Nintendo DS, and he bought me Alpha Sapphire, and he bought himself a Mega Ruby. And so, with these games, I had this kind of like shocking moment. It had been like 10 years since I had even picked up a Pokemon game or, you know, even considered watching an anime or, any of it. And I had this moment where I was like, oh my God, even 10 years later, I still love Pokemon. It's just crazy to me how these characters, from my childhood kind of stayed with me all the way into adulthood and even subconsciously, kind of found their little way into a place in my heart and kind of just stayed there. And so that kind of brings me to my modern day love for Pokemon, uh, which kind of ignited with the two DS games. And then by the time the Switch came out, I started to get really heavily into Pokemon Go as well as my husband. We used to go on dates and just like be walking around the shopping malls and catching Pokemon, and out at restaurants and catching Pokemon while we waited for our food, and anywhere we could, on the bus, on the train, not while driving, but while other people drove, we were catching Pokemon. And it ignited this, you know modern day sort of like revival of Pokemon for me. And, it holds a special place in my heart. And because of that, my husband then got me the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. And this game, when I tell you, I had no idea that I was going to have this sort of visceral reaction to this game. It was sort of like reliving my entire childhood of playing Pokemon Yellow in the best possible way. Um, I love this game to death, and you know, how can you not love Pikachu? So, that being said, I think my next Pokemon game will probably be the new Pokemon Snap. I'm really into photography, and I've been getting more into it as of late. And so I really am excited to play that. I've watched a lot of people play it online. It seems like my kind of game. Low stakes, cozy, and lots of picture taking. I'm currently playing Detective Pikachu, and am absolutely loving it. It's the perfect cozy little mystery game for me. Also low stakes, and definitely on my alley. My days of Pokemon gym battles are behind me, I think, at this point. I'm retired, let's say, from Pokemon battles. But, maybe someday, maybe if there's a game that comes out that really piques my interest. But nowadays, I stick to more cozy games and anime. And so let's move on into talking about animes that I am surprised about. Think are great. And so my first one is going to be Zoro Arc Master of Illusions. I know this came out back in, I think, 2009 or 2010 it came out. I just think it's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, I think it's a super great movie. They also have another like short story about Hisuian Zoro arc on YouTube. I can't remember the name of it. I think I want to say it's like Let It Snow Zoro arc or something to do with snow. But you can find it on YouTube. It's really good. This like a short series about Hisuian Zoro arc, and I just fell in love with Zoro arc. I think it's really crazy that, even 27 years later, I can still find newer Pokemon or new Pokemon to me that I am in love with. And I'm like, what does that say about this brand? And I think what it says is that there's, kind of something for everybody. And we kind of all find our own Pokemon that we can relate to. And I think that's just so cool. So I actually have my Hisuian Zoro arc card. I have the holo and then also the reverse holo. I don't collect the Pokemon cards, but these just happen to be left at my job and they were gonna get thrown away. And so I have a small collection of Pokemon cards that were abandoned that found a new home, and I absolutely love my Hisuian Zoro arc. I know that they're not worth anything, but that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is the emotional connection that I've made with Zoro arc. There's just something about him in particular, or her, that I think there's like an air of mystery. I think that Zoro arc is misunderstood, and I really connect with this Pokemon in a way that I wasn't expecting. A lot of the new generations of Pokemon, there's so many now. They kind of just come and go, and I don't really connect with every single one of them. But for some reason, Zoro Art connected with me, and I'm so grateful for that new connection because I welcome any new connections in my life right now. And that's just kind of where I'm at. And so moving on to today's collecting and what we're all here for, let's talk about plushes and vinyl toys. And so I want to start with this guy right here. This Pikachu, I can't tell you guys how long me and my husband searched for this specific Pikachu. Me and my husband took a trip to San Francisco, and I wanted to find the perfect Pikachu plush. So we went to store after store after store, looking at many different options, and to me, this is the perfect Pikachu plush. The facial expression, the little red cheeks, everything about him just screams warmth and happiness and everything that Pikachu represented for me in childhood and even all the way into adulthood. So this is one of my absolute favorites, and we really did go on a real like Pokemon hunt for him. I think we walked like 14 miles that day. It was insane. But this is my little Pikachu. And then also during the same adventure, I got this little Gashapon of Eevee. And so we went to Japantown, and I kind of just found this Gashapon, and he came with a little freebie friend that my husband said you have to include in the video. It's a three-eyed oddish. I don't know if it's a misprint or what, but he has a little home here with us, and these two little characters kind of sparked my new love of vinyl in many different forms, from Pop Mart to, you know, Kika Goods to 52 Toys to all of the brands that we all know and love. I now collect those as well. Recently, I bought this little Sleepy Pikachu. He came in a blind box. I don't think it's official branding, but he's so cute. And so he just kind of lives with all of my other Pokemon stuff. Gotta love Pikachu in so many different forms. And then also, my husband recently bought me this Eevee plush. And I think this one is actually official, but it's just like, I don't know, maybe from a different country or something, but he is so cute. I love what Eevee represents. I think Eevee represents transformation, and I love that I meet so many people that have an affiliation for Eevee or one of the Eevee evolutions, and I think Eevee kind of offers something for everybody, and I think that's really what Pokemon is all about at the end of the day. And so my last and final plush that I'm going to be showing today is Potato Chew. Potato Chew I made, and you know, judge away. I am not a crocheter, but I tried. I did my absolute best, and I will try again to make an actual Pikachu at some point. But Potato Chew is as far as we've gotten, and I love Potato Chew. Potato Chew, kind of like I said about the other ones, he kind of just lives with my other Pokemon stuff. But anytime people see him, they have questions, and that's all right. We can answer questions about Potato Chew any day of the week. So let's get to what we are all here for today, which is going to be the blind box unboxing of the stuff I got from the Pokemon Center. It's not blind to me, but it's blind to you guys, and that's what matters. So I've got my old box cutter here, as usual. And we are just gonna go into the package here and show you guys what we got. This purchase in particular is another nostalgia purchase. With it being Pokemon's 30th anniversary and our 27th year anniversary, I wanted to kind of get something to commemorate that, and also get some stuff for my husband, because he is good to me. So these are going to be the first little purchase. Can't really see all of them. I'm not going to open them because they're not for me, but these are for my husband. These are going to be the official Pokemon Center Eevee stickers. And so you can see the 3 different Eevees that come on the back of it. These are so cute. I hope he finds a good place to kind of stick these on to things that he's going to keep for a really long time. I think some of them might end up on his sewing machine. He is an excellent seamstress, but he talked about maybe potentially putting these on his sewing machine and maybe sticking them on some of his other things that he's going to keep for a really long time. So I'm excited about that for him. And then the coup d'etat is gonna be this Pokemon, I believe it's the Sweet Diner. Let's see, what is it? What is it called exactly? Pikachu Sweetheart Diner Plush Hand Mirror. So let's go ahead and open this. I believe this just opens just like this. This, as you guys know from my last video, I love anything that is food or dessert themed in the plushie universe. So this is gonna be the new Pikachu Sweetheart Diner Plush Hand Mirror. And what it says on the website, I believe, is compact and functional for your bag, desk, or car. It's going to be a vintage style Pikachu with its rounded nostalgic look. And like I said, it's from this Sweetheart Diner collection. And this is so cute. I mean, it is that nostalgic sort of look to Pikachu with his like super rounded face and his little chubby cheeks, and I just love it so much. And I needed a new mirror, so I'm super excited about this. I love a plush that also has a function. In my last video, I opened a earphone case that was also a plush. This video, you know, it's a plush that's also a little mirror. And so I absolutely love it. And this cherry on top and the little blue accents instead of the typical black, I think is just super unique, and I had to have it. And so also this plush also kind of represents a upcoming Pokemon dream of mine. It is my dream to go to Sunshine City, Japan, and visit the Pikachu Cafe. Not the Pokemon Cafe that's in the Pokemon Center. That is for people who like to wait in lines. I do not like to wait in lines. I want to go to a grab and go place and get it all in one stop. I want my plushie, I want my Pikachu dessert, I want my drink, I want my photo op, I want it all wham bam, thank you ma'am, and have my Pikachu when I want my Pikachu. And then also in Sunshine City, there is also the Pokemon Center, which of course I would stop at as well. So that is kind of it, you guys. That wraps up this week's video. If you have any comments about Pokemon, you know, I would love to hear about them in the comments. I'm going to be releasing a new video every Thursday. So tune in, subscribe, like this video, comment on it. It really helps out the channel. And let me know any thoughts that you guys have on Pokemon. Has Pokemon been a part of your life for a long time? I would love to hear about it. Let me know in the comments. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.